right, friends, welcome back to the Build Show. We're on a job site that my company's building, a brand new house right in the heart of Austin, Texas. We've got some really nice traditional details on this house. And when we do houses like this, we often do a job site mock-up. Now in this video, we're gonna be talking specifically siding and why we like fiber cement, specifically the Allura fiber cement. But let's take a second to look at this job site mock-up. I think it helps set the tone for what we're doing, and it might help you in your project as well. So, like many houses built in the last 50 years, we've got a full masonry front on the house, this gorgeous limestone. These wood details here will actually be cut limestone. At the finished product, we're just mocking it up to show the architect and the homeowner. Look at those gorgeous soffits and tails. We've got some copper gutters going. And then 3/4 of the house, basically the whole backside of the house and the sides, is gonna get this really traditional siding. This is a Tudor style house, but this would work in all kinds of styles. I basically have this on all 4 sides of my house, this smooth fiber cement siding. Now we're gonna be going through all the details of what sets fiber cement as a category apart, why I like it so much. We're also gonna spend some time on Allura specifically, just to give you a few things to think about for your next project. Today's Build Show is sponsored by Allura. Let's get going. All right, guys, if you haven't met him, Tim Hill, my business partner at Reisinger Build. Tim, let's first talk about fiber cement and a few of the reasons why we've chosen it so much over the last 20 years building together. Number one for me, fire resistance. Now, we're not in a WUI zone here, but that is certainly a big deal for a lot of America in the WUI zones. But one thing about fiber cement I really like, Tim, is that it's naturally non-combustible. And it's made from Portland cement and sand and cellulose fiber. So for us in this urban setting where we don't have a WUI zone, what does fire resistance mean to you?
Well, WUI zone or not, when you're in an urban environment, the houses are generally close together.
They're tight.
And easy to spread fire from one house to the other.
For sure.
And the more hardening you can add to an existing structure, the less likely it is to have that fire spread from next door.
That's right.
So I think fire hardening, whether you're in WUI or not, is something we need to start doing in all the houses that we build.
I totally agree. But I think more than fire resistance, Tim, there's a story here between durability and fiber cement that I really like. What is that for you?
Well, again, a big push that we're trying to promote is long-term durability.
Yes.
It has a lot of parts to it, but effectively it just means components that last a long time, are easy to maintain,
Yes.
Hold their finished surfaces well, and fiber cement siding probably holds up to all 3 of those tests.
No rot, right? When this gets wet, it's not gonna rot on us. There's nothing to rot in here. It's naturally insect resistant. There's nothing for termites to eat. Ants aren't gonna eat this. Woodpeckers are not gonna wanna peck on it because it's not gonna feel like wood to them either. There's a lot of resistance there. But Tim, one of the things that I really like about it, and I don't know the scientific part of this, I'm curious if you know, I found that over the years, the houses that we've done in fiber cement, the paint seems to stay twice as long as other products.
Yeah, it's hard for me to understand too, but I think that the fiber cement is just a great compatible product for paint adhesion, caulk adhesion. You know, natural fiber products like wood, they have resins in them, saps in them that interfere with the adherence of the paint, interfere with the adherence of the caulk. And over time, if they get wet, it pushes that out to the surface, releases the paint, releases the caulk. Fiber cement doesn't really do that. It doesn't have that reactive nature to it.
Yeah, and there's not the expansion, contraction, the freeze thaw, all those kinds of issues that we have with more traditional wood-based products. That's right. Now, it doesn't mean though that you should be foolish in your install, right? Just because this is a naturally rot-resistant material, we need to really pay attention to the manufacturer's install directions. And typically on our jobs, Tim and I will read the install directions ourselves. We'll discuss it with our carpenters. Oftentimes we'll have the rep out. We actually had the Allura rep out to the job to review some of our best practices. But we need to be really smart. Like notice this siding is nowhere near the ground. The manufacturer says we got to keep it at least 6 inches away. Just because this is naturally rot resistant, don't be dumb and bury it in the dirt. because that not only will cause a problem with your product, that's going to give you a spot for termites to tunnel or ants to tunnel into the house behind the siding that you'd never see. So maintain your clearances, be smart about that. Also, we're never going to drop this down onto concrete. We're never going to drop it down to our roofing. We're going to maintain those clearances. I believe if you look from the install instructions, they're going to say at least a minimum 1 inch to concrete, to roofing, to patios, that sort of thing. But you'll notice here, we've gone more than that. More is better, right, Tim?
To your point about making sure you follow the manufacturer's directions, you know, it is a cement fiber reinforced product. So it does absorb water, right? So we want to make sure wherever we cut it, to prime the cuts, we want to make sure that we carry it properly when we're moving it from the delivery truck to the site or to the location where it's going to be installed. We want to make sure that, of course, we cut it properly, notch it properly, all those things, nail it properly, all those things that go into making it last, making it perform the way it's supposed to.
You also noticed, Tim, that you stored it all in the garage on this job. What was the reasoning behind that?
Well, we didn't want to leave it in the weather for any length of time. I mean, like any product, whether it's cement-based or wood-based, it's just not good for it to go through many wet, dry cycles over a long period of time.
That's right, and we don't want to install it wet too, right?
That's right, because obviously it's going to swell up a little bit when it's wet, it's going to shrink a little bit when it's dry.
The other thing to know, because it's Portland cement-based, if this were to get saturated and then we put it on the wall wet, it's possible that some efflorescence, some of those salts would come out in the future, and that could mess with our paint job. So the manufacturer says, hey, keep this dry when you're storing it and install it when it's dry. Now, it can be raining out. It's not that big a deal, but we're trying to make sure that we keep this product dry before the installation.
That's right.
Tim, let's switch gears and talk about a few of the details on this particular house. I really like how the architect and the homeowners have chosen some of these accent woods. I think it's going to go really well with our painted Allura. What are we seeing for these accents?
Well, in traditional architecture, it's almost impossible at this time to carry out all those exterior cladding details with pure cement-based siding material. You have to supplement or augment some of those details with the proper wood or other components that we'll get to. But those wood components have to be pre-stained, pre-primed, and treat them just like you would the siding. Make sure they are caulked and finished the way they're supposed to be.
And what is this wood we've got here?
That's Douglas fir.
Beautiful.
In our tradition, in our company, all exterior wood components that we try to use Douglas fir. It seems to hold up the longest and hold finish coatings the best.
So all those tails we're seeing coming out and those stained soffits, that's all Douglas fir.
That's all Douglas fir.
Yeah, that's really pretty.
Yeah.
Now I'm noticing that the prime color on this is different than this. What are these three products we're seeing here, Tim?
Well, these are the Allura siding trim products. These are the Allura siding products. This is also a Doug fir material that's been ripped with a slight cant to it, face screwed. So it's the proper profile that the architect wants for this window detail.
Yeah, gotcha.
Which is really kind of hard to pull off using an Allura product.
I also noticed you got a kerf cut on here too. So when that water wraps around, it's going to hit that kerf and want to break the surface tension to drop off.
That's right. Surface tension break is always important anytime you have that sill exposed.
And then if we look at the head, you've got a really nice head flashing on that relatively flat piece. Up there. And then the outside corners, it looks like our Allura, but it looks like our inside corners are not. What do we do in the inside corner?
Again, the piece of 1.5 by 1.5 Doug fir, pre-primed, so that the siding has something to terminate to on the inside corner.
Yeah, and you and I just realized today, actually, before we shot the video, that Allura does make an 8-quarter product. So we could have used Allura on that 8-quarter on that inside corner. We did a good job of priming it. I'm not worried about it. We've got 90+% as the Allura siding out here. Let's talk about mounting blocks for a minute. That is a tough thing for a lot of contractors. Most of our mounting blocks are PVC on this job. Is that what I'm saying?
Well, actually, we like to use a product that's used in the marine industry called high-density polyethylene.
Okay.
It's a little more manageable, easier to cut, can route it, you can sand it at a reasonable cost. So all of our exterior penetrations, where we have pipes or wires protruding, we always put a block for the siding to terminate against.
Yeah, I like that. Another option we just found out about recently is a Mara block that pre-makes a lot of those.
That's true.
They make it in redwood and cedar and PVC. We'll put a link to those guys down below. They also make a joint flashing that I think is a really neat product, all very reasonably priced. The last thing I want to mention is we have some Airex manufacturing boots for all of our AC line sets that come out. If you haven't seen those, We're big fans. They look way better than most out there. Plus they include a PVC line set cover so your insulation won't get destroyed over time by the sun's rays. So that's also a great choice for mounting blocks. Hey Tim, talk to me about nails. What do we need to know kind of generally about nails for siding?
Well, we always like to use a ring shank nail. Seems to grip whatever it's nailed to the best. We can use either a hot dip galvanized ring shank for siding nails, generally about 2 inches long. Or in coastal areas where you have a higher salt environment, stainless steel is also appropriate. So either one of those, applied 1 inch down, and it generally needs to be almost exactly 1 inch down from the top of the siding lap, so that it's still a blind nail, but you get the maximum fastening adhesion or connection.
Tim, our Allura rep stopped by and actually gave us a gauge for our nail gun, which drops that nail specifically 1 inch down from the top. You'll notice this is a blind nail fastening here, and it's a 1 1/4 inch overlap. So that 1 inch nail is just the exact spot. And we always want to hit a stud when we're nailing, by the way. Of course, you guys know that. We've got full zip system sheathing on this house, and that is our water and our air barrier. Remember, this Allura siding is not intended to be your water or your air barrier. Yes, it's going to be the shedding layer, but everything that's behind that, your WRB as we call it, is really doing the heavy lifting when it comes to water and air. So we use zip system sheathing, and then we use the zip system rainscreen as well, both on the Allura and on our masonry, to give that air gap. That gives about a 5/16 air gap behind the siding, behind the masonry, to make sure that any water that were to get back there would hit that air gap and naturally flow out. There'd be no capillary action to bring that water into the house. Now there is another option we didn't do here. This is a pre-primed but not pre-painted product. We opted for the smooth here for a little bit of an architectural look, but they offer a traditional as well that looks like a cedar. It's got a wood grain on it. But remember, the trim that you're going to purchase is reversible. So this trim on the back side has the traditional, and we opted for the smooth side to match our siding. Don't forget though, these guys make lap siding, panels, shakes, trim, and soffit, all designed to work together. They really have a complete lineup that helps create a cohesive, finished exterior. And you'll notice that almost every instance, minus 1 or 2 very minor cases, we used all Allura products on the outside, except for where we were looking for some specific architectural detail that we couldn't find in their catalog. Now we opted for the primed siding in this case because we're gonna paint everything, and we have some changing ideas between the homeowner and the architect of what that final paint's gonna be. However, we could have opted for their Spectrum. They offer 25 curated colors of Spectrum that are basically a factory paint baked on finish. You're definitely gonna get a much better factory paint job than painting in the field. The painting in the field though, of course, gives you the flexibility that we were looking for here. At my personal house, I opted for a fiber cement that was pre-finished, and I really like it. Years later, it's still looking the same. Let's talk warranty for a minute. You know, the Allura siding has a 30-year transferable warranty. The trim has a 15-year warranty, and if you opt for the Spectrum pre-painted product, that has a 15-year coating warranty.
The way this is going, we've installed probably 800 square feet of 4-inch lap siding in less than a week.
Yeah, and with a lot of details.
And it's going up really well. And we've only got about another 400 square feet to do here, so we should be able to finish it up in another week.
That's great.
So again, a great opportunity for us to give the client a great product at a reasonable installation cost. And I think they're going to really be happy.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. Guys, big thanks to Allura for sponsoring today. They do have a network of local reps, so you can reach out to them if you've got some questions. You probably can find somebody locally to help you. Of course, you can contact them nationally as well. We'll have the links to those guys below. If you're not currently a subscriber though, hit that subscribe button below. We've got new content here every single Friday. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on The Build Show.